Greetings, Dr. Steffi here. Are you wondering about how to stay ahead in a world that's increasingly impacted by artificial intelligence? If you are in a knowledge-driven industry, whether that's engineering, architecture, science, business, sales, management, admin, you will be massively impacted by AI. And in fact, you're probably already seeing the beginning of this, but this is just the start. In this quick broadcast, I want to give you some latest research and some thoughts, a revolutionizing method for actually thriving in an AI world and take advantage of AI in a way that you might not have considered or been aware of so far, and give you some practical tips, and I'll try to do that in about 6 minutes. Okay, so let's get started. Let me share my screen here. The first thing is there is a report by Goldman Sachs that just came out in March that says that across all industries, 25% of all tasks will be automated by AI. And of course, that will lead to some shifts in the job market, etc., and job responsibilities. But when you are in very knowledge-driven industries like architecture and engineering, life sciences, physical sciences, social sciences, business, sales, etc., then the percentage is even higher, more than a third. Now think about that. It's important to stay informed about this and to realize, to come up with a plan. How are we going to actually take advantage of this? How we're making sure that we're staying at the cutting edge of this? And how can we, be smart about doing this? Well, the next thing I want to share with you is there's really two types of knowledge. The first type of knowledge is conscious knowledge. And that's knowledge that you have and you have. And by the way, with AI tools like ChatGPT, we can access knowledge that's in the public domain, and it's at our fingertips very quickly. And it's available to everybody. So that knowledge is very soon not going to help you to really stand out so much. It is more knowledge that you have in your own head that's not public domain. So there's two types of knowledge there: conscious knowledge, and then there is unconscious knowledge. Now I'm going to focus mostly on the advantages of unlocking that unconscious competence or unconscious knowledge. That's knowledge that you have, you use it, but you use it automatically. You don't even know the half of what you know because it has become so automatic for you. And the problem with that is you cannot teach it. It's very, very powerful. That's the good side, but you cannot actually pass it on very effectively. The only way that you can do that is essentially you have someone, under your wings for a long period of time. And when a situation happens to come up that requires that unconscious competence, then they see it, they learn it from you, and then it starts to become part of their knowledge. But let's talk about unconscious knowledge for a moment longer, because let me go back to the other screen here. You see, to really understand unconscious knowledge, it's useful to know that it's often at the interface of disciplines. You see, so let's say this marble here represents a piece of unconscious knowledge. And let's say the red here represents software development skills. And the yellow represents the area for which you're developing the software. So let's say legislative drafting. Now, that's the drafting of legislation, of legal documents, right? That's a completely different discipline. And so let's say you're developing software for legislative drafters, and you need to know something about not only software development, but the art and science of legislative drafting, how that all works. When you hire software developers, they're not going to know anything about legislative drafting, most likely. I mean, it would be like really amazing if you found one. But so this unconscious competence, so there's a mix of conscious and unconscious competence at the interface of these two fields, and that happens all over the place. So for example, I worked on landmine detection, and we had people who had knowledge in physics and chemistry and in hardware, and then of course you need to know a lot about landmines and what they're made out of and where they are and the environments and on and on and on. You will not find this combination of knowledge in any textbook. And so as you are in a field for a long period of time, um, you will have both conscious and unconscious knowledge. So what we're talking about here is how can you thrive in an AI-driven world, where more than a third of your tasks in your field will be automated by AI. How can you thrive in that kind of world by unlocking unconscious knowledge? Conscious too, as long as it's in your brain, but also unconscious knowledge. All right, so let me go back to my slides here real quick. So there is a method. So basically what I'm going to give you a term real quick. When I talk about brilliance, that's actually short for expertise, experience, and knowledge, as well as wisdom that exists only in your brain in that unique combination. And I hope I explained that well enough now with the examples I gave. So unlocking that brilliance is what we're talking about and how you can use that in conjunction with AI tools. So there is a method called Brilliance Mining that I've created that helps unlock unconscious as well as conscious knowledge that's held currently only in your brain. Because the thing is that as you're thinking about using AI, you need not only knowledge that everyone knows, but you need to take advantage of your unique knowledge, your brilliance. But if it's only in your brain, then there's an inherent bandwidth issue. You can't scale it. It's difficult for other people to make suggestions on how to improve it. It's hard to train other people with it. And especially, it's next to impossible to do that when it comes to unconscious competence. So this method actually solves that. We map first what is that knowledge, then we can extract it, and then you can replicate it, meaning you can pass it on. And this is, of course, where your return on investment comes in majorly. So this is actually what we teach, as well as also support people in implementing in their organizations. So given that this is a short broadcast, I just wanted to say your mind is a gold mine, and here's your brilliance in your mind. And let's say we want to feed that into AI tools. And these AI tools, might be used internally in your company rather than becoming a public domain thing. Although you could certainly feed information into an AI tool and make that available to your customers as well. So that's another way to stand out and use this. But how can you actually feed it from your mind into here? Well, there are some steps in between that you need to do. You need to extract that knowledge, and Brilliance Mining is really a powerful, revolutionizing way of doing that, so that you can pull it out of your brain. It's going to be a bit raw. It needs to be sequenced and polished. Then as you do that, you now make this transferable. You simplify it enough. You think about who's going to get it, that information, and make it suitable for them, not too difficult, not too easy, not too much at once, etc., and introduce the properly. As you do that, you can do a lot with that to scale your business, to make sure that knowledge is not lost, to make sure that you have good succession planning, etc. And you can also feed it into AI tools, which is pretty awesome. But this picture is not quite complete yet. There's a vital thing still missing, and that is feedback loops. You see, you need to observe how well you have actually extracted and made transferable that brilliance that came out of your mind or the minds of your colleagues. And the best way to do that is to, as quickly as you've put something together, put it to the test. Train some people who don't already know this knowledge and see what happens. Now, AI can't really do that. You have to observe how well it works. And then that means that it often goes back to your mind and say, wait, there was a piece missing. Let's extract that. Let's make that transferable. And now you improve the process. And again, all of that can be fed into AI tools. And in fact, I want to show you a quick example. So here is a tool called Chat PDF. And I actually took a PowerPoint slide that PowerPoint slides, a presentation that I created on the topic of brilliance knowledge transfer in the age of artificial intelligence. And so I fed it into this tool, and what you can see here is that when you first do that, it says, let me see, can I make this bigger? I'm not sure I can. But it says, welcome to this informative PDF on knowledge management and artificial intelligence. It gives a little bit of a summary. And then it says, here are 3 questions that you could ask this chatbot, so to speak, based on the information provided in this PDF. Now, that's pretty cool. You can now interact with this chatbot on information that actually came out of your head, or in this case, my head. Okay, so I wrote down and polished, made transferable some knowledge that I had in my brain. I put it into this tool, and now other people could query this and ask questions, or I can actually query it myself. So, for example, I said, well, if I wanted to give a talk about this presentation, what might I call it? And give me some ideas on the title of this, and then also help me write a description, et cetera, et cetera. So that is another example. Now, we're already 12 minutes, so I got to wrap up. And I wanted to invite you to an interactive question and answer session this coming Wednesday at noon Central Time. I'm going to put the link into the comment section, and I hope to see you there. Please bring your questions, bring your thoughts, your fears, your concerns, your visions of opportunities about AI, and let's chat about that interface between, artificial intelligence tools on one hand and the knowledge that's currently in your brain and the brains of other people in your organization, and how you can use the juxtaposition of the two to thrive in an increasingly AI-driven professional world. I'll see you there.